What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to
Oh, not boom.
the channel. This is episode 9 of The Road to Halloween Horror Nights. It is ever closer than it was before.
Yeah, literally less than a month.
I'm getting nervous. I'm getting sweaty palms.
Okay, what are our tickets? Like, what are the day? What's the exact day we're going to?
The 18th.
The 18th.
So it's already less than a month.
Well, by the
We'll be in the
time everyone's
gates.
seeing
Yep.
this, yeah, it's like just like maybe about a couple weeks away. So this is a video in the 31 days of spooky videos. I don't know what number video this might be, but yeah, figured let's have episodes 9 and the live episode 10 as part of the 31 days of spooky videos. So yeah, we're excited. Today we're going to be ranking our top 5 Universal Studios horror films. Now these can be the classic monsters, or they can just be anything as long as it's a horror film and Universal is the distributor of said film. So Fast and Furious does not count in this.
No.
It is Universal though. It is Universal.
Get participation points.
Yeah.
E for effort.
Did you think did you just misread the thing? Like you thought it was
I thought it was top 5 Universal movies.
movies?
I was like, oh, that's going to be hard. They've been a lot of movies.
Even so, you put Fast and Furious in there.
Oh yeah, Fast and
Oh, yeah.
Furious. I think it's 7 where they steal the bank. The bank. That's the best Fast and the Furious.
Are you talking about where it's like trailing behind them, like on a big chain? That's Fast 5. Fast 5.
Fast 5. Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, Fast 5 is really good.
Fast 7 is when Paul Walker dies.
Is when he goes, yeah. But funny enough, did you also realize this? I thought Universal had a lot more horror films in their catalog. I was kind of surprised at how little they have.
It's mainly the
Yeah.
monsters.
Yeah, there's a whole website where I found these from, and I was like, damn, that's it.
Right? Because like you think of Universal, you think, okay, they're like the kings of horror. And you
Mhm.
realize that not a lot of horror films come from Universal.
No.
So
But
you know,
luckily, I
and-
like a lot of these movies, so it's pretty easy for me.
yeah, like so in your case, you're choosing one, we won't give it away, but you're choosing one from a franchise that I like the first one too, and that's not Universal. Otherwise, it would have been on my list personally. But I
Oh, the
forget
first
who-
one isn't?
Yeah, the first one's not Universal.
Yeah, that happens. Like,
A lot.
yeah.
Yeah, the first one comes out and then Universal like buys the rights to the sequels or something. So
Interesting.
but we're going to keep the tradition rocking and rolling here. So we're going to get right into this. We're going to bring up, obviously, photos and all that stuff. And we're going to let Nadia kick this off with her number 5 favorite Universal horror film.
All right. My number 5 is going to be the reason why I fell in love with this subgenre of horror, and it's going to be The Visit.
The Visit.
The Visit
yeah.
from 2015, I believe. To me, it changed the found footage industry, not the Blair Witch. To me, just because I fell in love with found footage because of this movie. It's got so many creepy aspects to it, and you don't really see a lot of older people in horror movies being creepy like this. Like this grandparents here, she is very creepy. If anybody doesn't know what this is about, basically these 2 kids go meet their grandparents for the first time, and they bring their camera with them to film the experience. And I won't spoil the plot twist, but the grandparents are very freaky. Have you guys seen this movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When you were watching the movie, did you call it or were you surprised?
No, I was surprised.
You were surprised by the
I
twist?
almost said the plot twist too, but I was very surprised of this plot twist. I don't really see plot twists in found footage movies that much, so to me this was really good, and I like how how freaky they are. Like I keep saying it, but their grandparents are just so weird.
They are
But
freaky.
you don't see horror people in movies, or old people in horror movies being
I was gonna say
freaky like
that's like-
this.
I was going to say that's like your scariest sub genre
Yeah,
is
I
old
mean,
people.
Spoiler alert. So I saw everyone's list because I compile the photos and everything. There's a couple films that between the 3 of us, you, Nadia, and me, Nadia, and Kevin,
Not me.
you're the one that has like totally like no one copied you. But the three of us have overlap a little bit, and this is
Oh.
one that's in my list.
Is this
Absolutely.
M Night?
This is M Night.
Yes.
Yes. So
Hey-
that
Yeah,
was
so-
obvious.
Hey Nadia.
This is basically what brought him back on the map was this movie because he took a break and then he went to this movie and it blew up, and that's why it's so beloved. What were you gonna say, Kevin?
Turn on your camera light. You're very dark underneath your cap.
I want to be dark. Ew.
There you go.
No.
Much better.
She's like, I want to be this is the
This is
spooky month.
ominous.
This is the spooky month.
I'll turn up this lamp. There we go.
Okay.
Jeez.
But yeah, no, this was the first of a couple, I think 4 or 5 collaborations with M. Night and Jason Blum. This is the first of
This is a
those.
Blum?
This is a Blumhouse,
Mhm.
yes.
Hmm.
And it's a solid film. It's a solid film. This could be M. Night's creepiest movie. It could be.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I really like the one
Mm.
poster where it's like sort of like knitted.
The Rules.
Yeah.
Grandma's Rules.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good poster.
It's unique.
Because I have the Blu-ray here, so like this is the
It's just the window.
traditional
Oh.
where you have just the old lady rocking in the chair.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
But I mean, I kind of do prefer what you said there. Kevin, did you? Well, first of all, you've seen it.
I have seen half of it.
Oh, so
I
you don't
wa-
even know the plot twist.
No, I know the plot twist. I saw the last half.
Oh,
But,
okay. All right.
He came from
I-
work and I was watching it.
mhm.
Okay.
So I kind of know what was going on, but it sounded like I should watch it from the beginning because it does sound like I hate those creepy old people movies when they say, "Hey, don't come out after 8-9 o'clock," and you're like,
Oh.
"Well, why the fuck not?"
yeah, right.
So,
Mhm.
Because they're like running around naked and shit.
Yeah.
well, and then
what
you're
do
like,
you do after 9 o'clock?
Don't we all run naked at 9 p.m.?
yeah, wait, that's not normal. But it's just freaky because some people with like mental disorders will do that. So it's actually like playing on like a real thing that some people unfortunately do.
Wow.
So it's
Mhm.
it's like it could be real life that this happens.
And
That's
it's just the subtle eeriness, like that picture that you pulled up where she's by the oven and
Yeah.
she's just like with the tray, like, come inside the oven. And
Yep.
it's just smiling, like, I don't know, like that kind of stuff is so freaky. It's the
Mhm.
subtle stuff like that.
And I don't remember because I know the kid gets in the oven, but I don't remember.
Nothing happens.
I-
She just gets out.
She doesn't shut her in.
Or she
think
shuts
she
her in
shuts
for
her
a
in.
second and then she
Yeah.
opens it back
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. But
wasn't that fun?
That
The
that
music
fucks with your
intensifies.
mind. That fucks with your mind because you're like, oh fuck, this is it. And then
Yep.
she just lets him out, and you're like, what is going on? That's what I love those movies though, that where
It's-
it makes you think about it.
It's the music that makes you think that something's gonna happen. And then you're like,
Mhm.
it's psych.
Yep. Yep.
Well, it's like when she's like deeper. There's a spot
Yeah,
back
like
there.
go a little
deeper.
further.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
and
missed
this
the
movie,
spot.
so we've all seen the ending without the twist being given away. This will make you reconsider. I mean, not that I've ever had fond feelings of this particular thing, but poop. That's all I'm gonna say. Poop. We all know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No.
No, you don't
People order
remember
our patties?
People order our patties.
the moment where the grandfather takes his diaper off and puts it in his face, the kid's
Oh.
face.
yeah.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that, Kevin?
I do now.
Well, I don't think I was there for that.
Oh
so-
my god. Yeah, he sticks it in the kid's face.
Ew.
It's that like weird
Yeah.
M. Night humor, you know, like because M. Night is, I love him. He's in my Mount Rushmore. He writes the weirdest shit, no pun intended, but like it's that uncomfortable humor where you're like, I feel like I shouldn't be laughing, but
Mhm.
he wrote it in such a way where I can't help but laugh. But this is truly horrific. What's happening right now? This kid has
Mhm.
his face smeared in shit.
Called the shit
So,
poop.
Yeah, he called the shit poop. So number
like that
5
word
for
better.
Nadia is M. Night
good
Shyamalan's The
one.
Visit. It's a good one.
That's
It's
a
a
good
solid
one.
film.
Mhm.
Kevin, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Freaky. I wanted to put like a comedy horror in this, and I thought Freaky was the newest comedy horror that I personally enjoyed, with a lot of good kills in it as well. And I mean, it's just really, I like horror comedies. I've noticed in the past couple of years. So when this one came out, I don't, Nadia, did we see this in theaters?
No,
No, we saw it streaming or something.
we were a little late to the party on this one.
But then even Nadia said that she liked this movie, and she doesn't really like horror comedies in it.
Did
The
you
maze
go
was really
to
good.
that house or
Mhm.
maze?
Yeah, it was good.
Yep. It was yeah. So we've all seen this movie as well.
Vince Vaughn is a human. He is a real human person, just like you and me.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. So we watched this in prep for last year's house because we had found out that it was going to be a combo Black Phone Freaky, and we had seen Black Phone, but we were like, oh shit, we haven't seen Freaky yet. So we knocked that off the list. Like you said, it's a solid horror comedy. Is it getting a sequel? I don't remember if that's been announced yet. I feel like it's going to get a sequel.
I don't think it's
haven't
been
heard anything.
announced.
Okay. If it hasn't been announced, I feel like that's just obvious because it made a butt ton of money, and it kind of, because Vince Vaughn, I don't think he had done too much horror ever since Psycho, because he had always like, I feel like that left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. They were like, oh, Vince Vaughn, the guy that tried to do Norman Bates. So this was a nice little kind of comeback. Speaking of comebacks, you were talking about M. Night and The Visit. This kind of, I think, reinvigorated a bit of Vince Vaughn's career in terms of how people view him from the horror side.
But I think he works well because it's a horror comedy. It's not a dramatic horror movie. Like, I can't see him in Smile because he's the funny guy out of the group. So,
yep.
I remember skipping on this in the theater just because I wasn't feeling the vibe of like, oh, you switch your body, kind of like a Freaky Friday knockoff. But then I was like, wait, this is actually pretty good. It's got good kills.
Yep.
So that's a good pick.
That's a good one.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty solid, but I can't say too much without giving away my next, without giving away one of mine.
Cool. Well, is it number 5 or
No.
no? Okay. So number 5 for Kevin, Freaky. Number 5
For me
Haley
is more, it's horror, but I'd say it veers on the side of like monsters, like in the same vein of like Godzilla. And that, like, where the monster itself is scary, not necessarily.
Any guesses?
the monster
King
itself
Kong.
is scary.
King Kong.
Bing.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
No.
No,
This
the
one even like
thing-
surprised me when she said it. I was like, "Oh, really?" And then I had to double check that it was even Universal because it doesn't. Some of these don't even give off vibes of Universal. So I think this one will. Go ahead, say it.
Is it?
Tremors.
Oh,
I didn't even know that was Universal.
Mr. Bacon himself.
The Baconator.
Yeah.
This is on my to watch list. I haven't watched it yet.
You
Come
haven't seen
on.
Tremors? Even I've seen Tremors.
No.
The Alaskan bullworm. No, I think
Oh, is that what that's like a ripoff of on SpongeBob?
honestly, probably.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you have my guy. I want to say his name is Valentine. They call him Val in this movie, and I'm not good with character names, but that stuck out to me.
Oh.
And I love me some creatures, like some gooby woobies, some big bad scary thing. Like I love it, and I mean it gets pretty gruesome. I mean you have big sandworms that don't see and are just inexplicably in the ground. Nobody knows why they're in the ground. They just happen to be there. And they can shoot up at like any time and like get you.
Wow.
And the way they move is like an echolocation. So like they can hear your footsteps. So they have to
Okay.
sort of like go on rooftops, like try to be creative, not walking on the ground so that the sandworms don't get them.
This is also on my watch list. Yeah, this is
It's so good.
I think I've been desensitized to it because there's like 20,000 sequels. So that's kind of ruined.
Just the first one. So
That's what I'm saying. Like
the first one.
I feel like if I really like the movie, I'm gonna be like, but then I'm gonna watch those other shitty things just to feel like a completist.
No.
How many sequels are there?
7.
7. Yeah.
Really?
And a lot of and a lot of them have Jamie Kennedy for some reason.
Damn.
Yeah.
thought it was
Haley,
just,
have
like,
you
two-
have you seen the behind the scenes on how they do all of like the
No.
sandworm trip? Oh, you should. They literally they pile. So they have. Where's my camera? They have they dug a trench, a hole, and then they put a barrel inside of the hole, put sand on top of it, and then they pull it so it looks like they're coming through the sand.
No way.
Yeah. So
there a-
that's
Is there a lot of CGI in this movie, or is it like predate that?
there's like a couple CGIs, but like there's one part I don't want to not spoil it, but it looks really cool. They're in a gun shop and it bursts through the wall.
Okay.
That is great.
Yeah, that's a good
Mhm.
one.
Is this 80s?
I want to say it's 90s.
90s.
Early 90s.
Oh, look.
I want to say 93. It feels like 93 to me.
90.
check? Is it streaming?
Oh, it's 90.
It is not streaming, but I will definitely rent it because it's that good of a movie. So we can
Yeah.
watch it.
Damn.
It
Okay.
has a really nice Arrow release if you end
Mhm.
up really liking it and wanting it on physical.
Yeah. Spoiler alerts, some of the wormies die, and just the way that they're like cut apart almost. Like
Mhm.
there's one like that gets caught in the wheel of a truck, but it's without spoiling anything. It like you see the entrails like in the wheel, and they're like, what the shit is that?
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Hopefully
I
not
also
real
just get freaked out, like
Mm.
in that sort of Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico area,
Just desert.
just desert.
Mhm.
Like
Desert's creepy.
that freaks me out, like
Yeah.
more than the woods, where you have it's isolation, but you have like all the trees and everything can hide. Desert is just you're boned, you're screwed,
You're
Mhm.
boned.
you're boned. Like
That's a new way to put it.
you're so
Eventually,
screwed.
you'll get boned.
You're a bone.
So it's just like this little town, and that's why it's so scary. It's because this little tiny town has to try and not off themselves because there's
Mhm.
nowhere to get help for the next
There's
like
like
20 miles.
there's like 50 people in this town or something. It's like a tiny ass town.
Mm.
So everybody knows everybody there pretty much.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check this off our
Mhm.
October list as well for sure
When
because I haven't
nice.
seen this one. So that's your number 5.
That's my number
That's
5.
your number 5. All right, my number 5 is somewhat M. Night Shyamalan. It's not Visit. That's later on in the list, but this is M. Night Shyamalan still, not directing. He is a producer, and he helped create the story for Devil. This is I believe it's 2010. This one came out.
Is that the
And
elevator
it's-
one?
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
It's one of my favorite single location movies for the most part. I mean, there's a few moments where we leave the elevator, but for the majority of the time, we're stuck in the elevator with the people. And the premise is, I think it's 5 strangers, and one of them is the devil. And
Why is my guy the devil riding an elevator?
yeah, why is he riding an elevator? But it's a great. It's one of those movies where you watch it, and it's not directed by M. Night Shyamalan, but it might as well be because the dialogue feels like M. Night, the directing feels like M. Night. It's sort of like Poltergeist, how everyone's like, "That's not Spielberg."
Mhm.
And so, Devil 100% is one of my all-time favorite. Like when came up with the idea, that was the first one that popped in my head. I didn't even have to check that it was Universal. I knew it was Universal, and
Wow.
for some reason, this is the first and only installment as of right now of a series of movies that was supposed to come out called The Night Chronicles. And it was supposed to be M. Night producing, coming up with the script, but giving the directing duties to other people. And there was going to be like 3 or 4 of those movies. And for some reason, we only have this. So
Sort of like Tom
This is-
Cruise's Mummy was supposed to be a reboot.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
a solid standalone.
yeah, it's really good. Have we all seen it?
Nope.
You haven't seen it? Oh man, it's really good, and it's really good for PG-13. It's a PG-13 movie, but no, it is intense. It's intense.
It is.
So
I haven't
it's
seen
on,
it in years, but it's
on video.
memorable.
It's on Prime.
it's on Prime.
It's on Prime.
There you go. I think I got this from Groove because Groove is Universal's site, so it was very cheap on Groove. But
Fine. We'll watch Tremors and then we'll watch Devil.
yeah, I'm down for that.
It's kind of cool that we haven't. Some people have seen these movies. Some people haven't seen these movies. That's what's kind of cool about ranking.
It's what's cool, and like we said at the top, there's not even that like a lot of Universal horror movies. So, number 4 for Nadia.
My number 4 is going to be Ouija: Origin of Evil.
There we go.
Has anyone seen this movie?
Ouija.
I haven't seen either of the Ouijas.
Okay. So this is basically a prequel of the movie Origin, but yet this one, no, it's not. Origin is the prequel. Shit, I don't know. But
I think there's the first one just called Ouija, right?
Yes. So Ouija came first, but this Ouija Origin of Evil is a prequel to Ouija.
But it came out after Ouija.
Exactly.
While the Ouija.
The more you say that word, it doesn't sound like a word.
No.
So basically, the premise of this one is a mother owns a fortune-telling company, a psychic company, but she's scamming people, obviously, like all psychics. And she does like tricks under the table to pretend like, oh, your father's ghost is here and stuff like that. So she ends up buying a Ouija board to enhance her scamming business. And the daughter gets to this Ouija board and she wants to contact her dead father. And that's when she releases a demon and it just escalates from there. She's the one that gets possessed. It's got such creepy vibes to it. It's the oracle thing from the Ouija. If you look through the little if you look through the little glass, that's when you can see the ghosts in your house and the demons. And when she's possessed, her eyes roll all the way back, showing just the white part, and her mouth can stretch all the way down. And it's just like in the background stuff. That's what makes it freaky. Like they don't acknowledge it from the front two characters that are in the scene. It's the background that makes it freaky. So this movie is stuck with me, and I immediately knew I wanted to own it. But it's just so good. I actually prefer this over like The Exorcist and stuff like that. So Ouija, Origin of Evil, it's actually better than Ouija.
I was going to say that's one of those rare cases where the first one's kind of bad, and then the second one, right, is like so superior to it somehow, like The Nun 2, like more recently.
Well, doesn't the first one have like a 13 or a 30, like something like?
Yeah,
really
it's horrible.
Bad.
It's horrible on Rotten Tomatoes. But then, Mr. James Wan comes in, takes it over, and that second movie's the best one. So,
Have any of us ever tried a Ouija board?
Yes.
You've tried it?
I don't doubt.
Oh yeah, I have a whole video on my channel. My experiences with it.
Oh damn!
It's intense.
Were you?
Did you burn it after?
Yeah. I didn't want that in my house.
Yeah.
You have to.
Like when I think of Ouija boards, I think of the scene in Paranormal Activity where Mika tries to communicate with and Katie's all pissed and everything, and she leaves, and he leaves, and the camera's still rolling, and it catches on fire. And that's when I think of Ouija's.
Yeah. So I highly recommend this movie.
I was going to say, watch this before you watch the first one, but I think you guys would be entertained on this. And it's based in like the 60s or 50s. So
I think it's the 60s, yeah.
60s, and then like the Ouija board first came out. So that's why the mom goes to go get it, because it's like, oh, no one's ever seen this before, and starts to use it that way. So
heck yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one. This is also Blumhouse, right? I feel like this is Blumhouse.
I think so.
It's got Blumhouse vibes. Let me see.
Yeah. So because we're planning on doing like a ranking of Blumhouse stuff, and there was one in there like there's a few in there that I'm like, neither of us have seen it, so we can't do it, but I feel like that's one. So number 4, Ouija, Origin of Evil. Kevin, what's your number 4?
Oh, my phone turned off. I forget. It is Psycho, the original.
Ooh,
Mr. Bates. I mean, you can't go wrong with a classic like this one. Just watching it I think I've watched it think this is my most watched horror movie, I believe.
Okay.
But just the aesthetics of the black and white era, and it's creepy vibes with Bates, and then the twist at the end, well, in the middle, about his mom and stuff like that. And I
Spoilers.
think I didn't say anything. It's just a twist.
Well, the movie is what, 50 years old? So
Spoiler alert.
no one's watching it now. They aren't watching it anymore.
But it's just it has good pacing to it. Some horror movies, I don't like the pacing to it. It's I don't know if Nadia said this or but it goes, some horror movies go from jump scare, what are we going to do in the middle to get to another jump scare? But this one's like, it has a story to it, and you follow that story all the way through with some twists in it. So that's why I put this as my number 4.
I didn't say that, but that's really true.
Oh, it is? Okay, I thought it was you.
Well, what I like about this movie isn't necessarily like the horror-ish, like an aspect of this movie that I really appreciate, especially for the time, is that, you know, they're playing up like Janet as like in like the same way that he would do like Tippi Hedren, you know, like she was the star. And then kill her off like 3 minutes into the movie. I think that was a big twist.
Yeah, well, that's why that whole thing was implemented, where they don't. It would be awesome if they still did stuff like this, but you know, the whole you can't enter the theater after the movie started kind of deal.
They don't do that now, do they?
I don't feel like they do that now, but that was like a thing. Hitchcock was like, there was like signs, cardboard signs of him like standing like this, and there was like a whole bunch of rules, like you can't enter the theater after the movie started to preserve the experience, something like that.
That's crazy.
For this movie, it kind of makes sense, because you know,
you wouldn't know what happened.
You wouldn't know what happened, and she's not in the movie that much, so it's great. Something that doesn't get talked about a lot about this movie that I find creepy, and it's really not even that creepy, it's just the way it's filmed, is the police officer at the beginning that follows her. Like just the way Hitchcock filmed that, like there's those scenes where she's here, there's a road, and then the cop's over here, and he's just standing there with his glasses on, like his sunglasses, and he's just watching her. And if you've never seen the movie and everything feels suspicious to you, that felt suspicious to me on my first watch. I was like, there's something off about this cop, and I'm very unsettled by someone I should feel not unsettled by.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wanted to make it suspense when it wasn't supposed to be suspenseful.
Yeah,
and we haven't even gotten to the hotel yet, but you're like,
right?
Yeah, this cop is sussy. Why is he doing this? Why does he always find her somewhere?
Yep.
So
and I think for the remake, which is shot for shot, have we all seen the remake?
No.
You haven't seen the remake with Vince Vaughn?
No.
I would recommend it, only because it is an interesting thing that they tried to do. Like a shot for shot remake is insane. But,
of like one of the most iconic movies of all time.
And Vince Vaughn is creepy. Like he can be creepy.
He's like 6'4", 200 some pounds.
Yeah, and they've upped, you know, like obviously there's 90s blood and everything, so all the like the shower sequence is much more graphic.
No more chocolate syrup.
So, but yeah, just wow, solid movie. It's a good one. And one of the rare franchises Universal has all the films. Like every film is Universal.
I've only seen the first one, so can't say about the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Psycho 2 is solid. Psycho 2 is
so
solid.
not.
Yeah.
You're so wrong for that.
So not. As if.
And I really want to check out Bates Motel at some point.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
Well,
it.
it's a great show.
That's what I hear. Yeah,
I was addicted to it.
Yep.
but like, there's so many good shows that like we say we want to check out, but we're just not show watching people.
It's just a lot of investment. Yeah, a lot of investment.
Well,
It is.
not to go off topic, but have you guys seen American Horror Story?
No.
Oh,
They can't commit to that. That's 12 seasons.
I know, but it's so good. It's so good.
I know. We're missing out on a lot of good horror television.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's your number? What, 4? What's your number 4?
4.
My number 4 is, and yes, I am picking a silent movie. I feel like people don't do that.
Any guesses? It's a silent movie.
Silent.
Nosferatu.
That's
Nosferatu.
That's like German people. I don't think that's universal.
Oh, they don't have the rights to that one.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, look.
No.
The
Kevin.
It is The Phantom of the Opera, the original Lon Chaney virgin.
Virgin?
Whoa.
Whoa. What kind of movie are you watching?
The original,
I mean, look at him. He kind of is probably a virgin.
right.
Yeah, totally.
Gooby
But
wooby.
it's the one you least expect that get the most girls, get the most ass.
You think he got some ass?
Definitely.
I mean, he's looking at her like he wants her.
His nose looks like an ass.
Look at him. Just look at him.
Look at that guy.
That's a really high quality picture.
Right?
Like it's almost
Too high
like,
quality.
yeah, like stop.
Is it AI?
Ooh,
It
stop.
might be. Yeah, not the Claude Rains version, even though I do adore Claude Rains.
I really like that one too. Yeah.
But
And
if
it's not the Gerard Butler version,
the,
the 2004
Oh,
musical version with
oh,
Gerard Butler as the
right.
Phantom.
There's also like a 70s version, I want to say. Like there's a lot. There's a lot. But the best is the OG. If you don't mind sitting through silent films, which I don't, and I love silent films.
Have we all seen?
Nope.
Yes.
No.
No, Nadia said yes.
Well, Kevin said no.
Well, boo.
No, I have not seen. Like, I haven't seen Creature from the Black Lagoon yet either. So,
You're okay on that one.
but it looks cool.
I enjoy it.
It looks cool.
I mean,
but
it
he's
is
kinda
cool
goofy.
the
He's
way
kinda
that
goofy.
the way that they actually had to film that, considering it's like 53.
Mhm.
It's impressive, but overall, goopy.
Yeah.
This film, I just adore. Like, if you like the Claude Rains one a lot, I feel
like
like you
this
would
one.
appreciate this more. Like,
I want to see every version of the Phantom of the Opera. There's one with Robert Englund where he literally looks like Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, I saw the cover.
Yeah, it just looks like Freddy, but in a Phantom of the Opera movie,
That's weird.
right?
the 40 with Claude Rains, that one feels more like a drama to me, and especially because like when they reveal his face under the mask, it's like, ew, he's
That
just a
is-
little ugly.
That is so funny to me when that happened in that version of the movie. He takes his mask off. It's supposed to be like an epic, disgusting reveal. He has like a couple wrinkles on his face. It's like,
Ew,
man, you guys were like hateful.
He just
Like-
has like some bad acne at the moment.
Yeah.
All it needs is a little exfoliating, and
Yeah, like so that was a little underwhelming. But like
this dude's ugly.
like if you saw him in a sewer, good lord.
Yeah.
It's the story is a lot more fleshed out, and you would think that's weird because like how much storytelling could a silent movie do? I'm really downplaying silent movies because I feel like it's
That's the stigma, I feel
Yeah.
like, is it's silent, so it's
boring.
It's boring. It doesn't have a lot to offer, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
But
Well,
it's just so
Oh, I was gonna say it's just like a Charlie Chaplin movie. Like
Yeah.
a lot of it is silent, but it still shows what it's intending. So,
Mm-hmm.
It's like mimes. They're silent, but you can see what they're doing.
mhm,
Right?
it's just a lot of visual storytelling.
mhm.
And especially, I mean, Lon Chaney.
Mm.
Lon Chaney.
Yep. R.I.P.
Yeah. What a guy.
Yep. We're definitely going to be checking this one off as well. I definitely want to see that.
Before
So-
we go on to the next one, Nosferatu from 1921 was Prana film. I don't know what the heck that is. So, and it is a silent film as well. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mhm.
Oh, I just want to say one more thing, and that, like I said, how the Claude Rains one is more genre, like not genre, more drama. I can't speak. This one is kind of scary. Like he literally just like straight up abducts her. Like the most iconic scene ever. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention the chandelier falling. Like when he cuts off the chandelier in the opera house. Like I don't know for certain how they did that, but it really did look like they killed people in that scene. Where the
Hard
Claude
stuff.
Rain ones is a little underwhelming. I think they like cut away, But no,
it falls and like right before it crushes the people, it cuts.
it
Yeah,
cuts. Nope,
Mm.
that you just see it
it just
hitting
topples
ground.
people. Wow.
Uh,
And I remember watching that Claude Rains and going, "Wow, this is pretty ballsy for 50s."
no,
Like,
that's it. I was watching. I was like, oh.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if they killed real people back then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, expendable.
Damn.
I mean, would you be surprised?
People are
I don't
expendable.
really know. I mean, what the Wizard of Oz had like, what was it? Formaldehyde or like what was the like
Asbestos.
Yep.
asbestos? Like the snow is asbestos.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
Good lord.
or anthrax.
Something like
No,
that.
asbestos.
Anthrax, yeah, and like the metal or something like that that they put on
Yeah.
the Tin Men, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
They didn't know what they were doing.
Mm-mm.
So that's your number 4.
that's my number 4.
Okay. My number 4 is going to be
Almost 100-year-old movie.
yeah, crazy. Wait, what is it? 1925?
5.
My number 4 is going to be from a modern master of the genre, and that is Jordan Peele. I'm going Us. This is my favorite of his films. I know the popular one is Nope. That's a joke. It's
Oh.
Get Out.
Uh-huh.
But thank you, Nadia. Thank you. Thank you. But I have a feeling that Us is going to, as time goes on, I feel like that's going to be the one that battles Get Out the most. I feel like, Nope will always be the one that's sort of the black sheep of the family, because that's the one that is least horror in his filmography. This one is the creepiest to me. I know Get Out is really creepy, but I've always been afraid of finding someone that literally looks
Your doppelganger.
exactly like me.
They say that there are at least 5 people in the world that look exactly
That's
like you.
terrifying to me.
I want to meet him.
That's horrifying. Like, I don't know what I would do. Actually, I know what I would do. I would use the John Travolta line from Face Off. I'd go, "It's like looking in a mirror, but not."
You wouldn't go.
I do the Spider-Man meme, like,
Yeah, we're all pointing at each other. But it's cool because he uses the doppelganger aspect, but then there's like a whole other subtext crap going on here that you could like deep dive into. I mean, it's a thought-provoking horror film that is genuinely creepy, and the finale of this film with the score, and it's like going back and forth between the real world or the normal person and then the doppelganger, and like it's like a ballet kind of thing. And oh my god, like it's just, I've only seen this film once, and I need to rewatch it, but that one viewing sold me. I was like, this is better than Get Out. It's better than Get Out.
I'd say this is more horror than Get Out. Even though they're both horror, I'd say this is more brutal in turn, like straight blood, guts, and gore.
And I like that he took a song, and now when I hear it, I just
Police.
yeah, like no, I got 5 on it.
But no, doesn't Elizabeth Moss, doesn't she go like, send help, like get the
Oh,
police?
Yeah.
Did you playing Fuck the Police?
Yeah. That's funny. No, like that, like the song where they're going to the beach, right?
Oh.
it's a solid maze too.
Yeah.
Solid maze.
I went in that one alone. Like the park was literally like 2 minutes to close. I'm surprised they even let us through. There was nobody in front of us. There was nobody behind us. It was just me and I think like 2 other of my friends that we went in, and they had already like bolted ahead of me. So I was just walking through this by myself as people with what I assume to be real scissors just pop out. And it's like, because nobody was in front of me, they weren't popping out. Like,
Mhm.
so I didn't know what to expect. And I'm like, if I make one wrong move, I'm dead. Like, I would be the first person to be killed in a house.
And whoever came up with the poster for Us deserves a raise. Like that is just, I think, one of the best posters where she's taken like the mask
own
off.
face
Yeah,
off.
oh, it's so good.
Face off.
What is this? The New Yorker calls it a colossal cinematic achievement.
This is one of the rare movies where, Kevin, we started it and we didn't finish it. We watched like 2 minutes of it.
Oh, so
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't-
like the finale.
No. So, but like, I don't know what we were doing that day, Nadia. We started it, and then we're just like, No, we shouldn't start it or something like that, and then we never got back to it.
Something,
Oh.
yeah. I don't
It's
know what
definitely
happened.
not a turn your brain off movie. Your brain has to be activated.
Yeah, please put this in your rotation. I
I
know
wanna
I've
think.
No,
I've
it's not.
sent you down some bad roads with horror films lately, but put this on your rotation.
It's on Peacock, Nadia. We can stream it for free.
It's on the
So,
cock.
It's on the cock.
So you've
Alright.
seen Get Out and Nope?
Yeah,
Fully?
I've seen Get Out.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Mhm.
I've seen both of them.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I would highly recommend it, but yep, it's my favorite. That's my number 4. Moving on to Nadia's number 3, top 3.
My number 3 is going to be one of my favorite subgenres of horror, which is zombie. It's going to be Dawn of the Dead remake from Zack Snyder, 2004. I'm sure everybody and their mom has seen this movie at this point. I don't need to
Well, I
say
guess not
much.
me.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, so basically there's an apocalypse. They're stranded at a mall, blah blah blah, and then all these zombies trying to get to them, and they are fast Olympic running zombies.
28
They
days later, zombies.
yeah, like what the hell? Where's Kevin? Scared him away.
Can you find Kevin?
Yeah, find Kevin. He is in the frame. You just have to find him. He's like under the laundry.
Oh, I was actually looking for him in the
No,
frame.
no, he's not in the frame.
I think he's grabbing my Scream Factory one.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah, you're
Hey,
right.
Right?
there you
Yep.
Ugh. Yeah, I can show one now.
There you go.
So that's the Scream Factory one that he got me, and it's just the zombie effects makeup is just so well done. I love even like the storyline. There's a little bit of a love story in there, which I'm like, but it turned out really good. There's a dog involved. He doesn't get killed, so that's good. And they're only interested in human flesh. And this movie is just all around much
They're not
better than the
blue, right?
original.
They're not blue people.
They're not pooping?
No, blue people.
Blue
She's
people?
asking, are they blue? Because in the original Dawn of the Dead, like the makeup makes
They're
them look blue.
No.
Cool.
The original is just dumb to me. I don't like it.
Yeah,
Stoopy.
we've talked about that here. Yeah, we all agree it's kind of overhyped a little bit.
Yeah, slow zombies just make it so boring, and I lose focus to it. But
Now,
this one,
do you find these scarier or the ones in 28 Days Later scarier?
I actually am not a fan of 28 Days Later, so I really enjoy this one more. Like this one and Zombieland and Train to
You redeemed
Busan.
yourself. You lost me at didn't like 28 Days Later. You redeemed yourself with
I know
Zombieland.
it's a hot take. I don't know. I try to give it a rewatch and I still couldn't get into it.
See, funny enough, I'm not big into the 28 Days Later either, but 28 Weeks Later, because it's like more Americanized. Like the first one is very British. It's over in the UK.
And the British people.
The second film is in America, and it's Jeremy Renner, the guy who plays
the guy who has his own
Hawkeye.
social media app.
Right? It's Hawkeye from the MCU, the guy with the bow and arrow.
Really?
You know,
That's Kevin's area. It's not
you know
mine.
who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. He just got in a car accident.
Yeah, him.
Mhm.
He's in 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Weeks Later either, and I heard there's going to be a 28 years later or something. 28 months.
Wait, when was the first? 2002.
Yeah.
I much prefer Dawn of the Dead. I can rewatch that anytime, any day. It's a good turn your brain off movie, literally, because they're zombies. Just turn your brain off. And I like that it takes place in a mall where there's so many resources, but yet they're so dumb that they don't really use them.
Have you seen this one?
I've only seen the opening with the little girl, and then for some reason I never progressed past that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Like, I'd love to know why I didn't keep going, but I can't answer. I don't know.
Even that opening with the little girl's freaky.
Pretty good. Yeah,
She
it's pretty
reminds
good.
me of the first episode of The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And which I'm pretty sure like that's like an homage in some way, shape, or form.
Probably.
Guys, it's free on Peacock and free on. No, that's it. Just Peacock. Just to let you guys know. If you want to
On the
check it
cock.
out, it's on the
Alright.
cock.
On the cock.
Alrighty, Dawn of the
Oh
Dead
my.
remake, not that original thing that everyone
Poopy,
praises, and none of us here
stupid-duper.
understand why.
Nope.
Dawn of the Dead. Kevin, number 3.
Well, my number 3 has already been said on this episode. This is our first doopy. It is Ouija, the Origin of Evil.
Not the Ouija again.
Ouija. It's
Oh.
that
The
good of a
Luigi
movie. It's on here
board.
twice. So, but yeah, I mean, just like what Nadia was saying, just spooky I love background things where you have to look and see if there's anything going on or any creepy stuff in the moving in the background. And this has a lot of it, as well as it being, I don't know, I guess I'm liking like older set movies in like the 50s, 60s and stuff like that,
Mhm.
because it's a different time than it is now. And just the eeriness of when she gets possessed. Oh, spoiler alert, she gets possessed. And what her functionality changes, because she's still a young girl, but when she gets possessed, she's like a whole different demon, no pun intended. But yeah, it's just everything that Nadia said and we've already talked about. You just have to watch this movie.
I like that because I didn't even notice in that that second photo that I had pulled up that the Ouija at the bottom it says goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a cool little detail.
They
Well, it
always
says,
do.
yeah,
Oh, they
it
always
says
say goodbye?
they say hello and goodbye.
Oh, see, I don't. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
there you go.
And you have to say goodbye.
That's for me. That's for me because I didn't know that it always says goodbye. I just thought that was like a part of the poster.
Mm-mm.
Damn it. Anyways,
Stupid
stupid
duper.
doopoo. All right, number 3 for Haley.
Number 3 for me. So these 3 were hard for me to sort of pick through because easily all of these could just be number 1 and I'd call it a day. But because I have to rank them, that was the assignment.
Mhm.
I'm going to knock off my other classic monster, that being my favorite guy, Bella, Dracula. Yeah. If it wasn't for Bella's stardom and Dracula, then we wouldn't have Ed Wood.
We would not. Oh yeah, that's right. We would not have Ed Wood. Here he is. I was like, where is he? There he is.
Look
Look at
at
that guy.
Got it.
Look at that hairline.
Yeah. I mean,
Kind of looks like
you,
mine. Yeah.
yeah, you have a really deep.
Well,
widow's
I've
peak.
always said that I have the eyes and like the forehead of Boris Karloff, like the sunken in, like my like my forehead kind of comes out a little bit.
And you have the nose and hairline of Bella.
Wow, what a combo!
Iconic. Yeah,
Look at her though; she looks miserable.
I wouldn't be.
She's like, get away from me.
Yeah, I love everything about this movie. I love the score. The dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I used to play it on my piano.
It's so atmospheric. The sets.
The sets are my favorite part of this movie. When we watched it, I was like, those are some insane sets that they made. To think they built them, like that's crazy.
Yes. And watching this on VHS was just a whole different experience.
Highly recommend watch film on VHS.
Oh, beautiful,
Yep.
gorgeous. I
It
mean,
gives you that crackling that the VHS tape is like almost falling apart.
it's so
yeah.
it's scary. Like it's genuinely unnerving.
And it has if you have the set you have, that has that nice promo at the beginning.
Yeah.
Get your Universal Monsters classic collection at your local video store. What?
I love those.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, like I love that. Available at your local video store now.
Yeah, for what's it, like reasonable price of $14.95.
Yeah, they even tell you the price for the manufacturer's suggested retail price of $14.95.
Jeez.
And you have that graphic, like
It's great. It's good. Yeah.
Love it. I literally love it. And then you have Renfield, of course. How could I forget?
Yes, Renfield, another great Nicholas.
No, I'm talking about
Nicolas
the
Cage
character.
movie.
The character
Oh.
of Renfield.
Well, that obviously is a big
Correct.
inspiration for
Well,
Renfield.
I mean, the whole beginning was them shot for shot
Yeah.
redoing Bella. But his character in this movie, like when he's on the ship, like boating Dracula you know, in his coffin on his own soil, and him just laughing. You were looking down on him, and he's just Just,
Ew.
stop.
Have you
Like,
both seen Dracula?
Yes.
Yes.
of
Cool.
course, it's a classic. I mean, like what vampires initially were like that of Nosferatu, and even like how Francis Ford Coppola did Dracula. Like, stop! Literally, stop talking right
I
now.
hate that movie, the Francis Ford Coppola one. Oh my
Stop
god,
talking.
boring. Ugh.
Stop.
You guys like that movie? The Francis Ford Coppola one with Keanu Reeves?
I
Never
don't think
seen
I've
it.
ever seen it.
Oh, don't.
Haley's
She is-
stunned.
The woman was too stunned to
stunned
speak.
to speak.
Oh, God, it's horrific.
Anyway, when I think of Dracula, I think of the diabetes commercial that collabed with Dracula. It's like, I want to suck your blood and test you for diabetes.
He's just doing a good service.
Does he say that in the Dracula voice, or does it switch over to like a normal voice?
He says it in the Dracula voice.
And to test you for diabetes.
Mm.
But the way, like, I was saying, Francis Ford Coppola did Gary Oldman, and like, stop, like with the big white hair and the long yellow nails, like that and Nosferatu were like how the Dracula vampires were like sort of depicted, like in novelization and stuff. But Bella set like the standard. Like when you think of Dracula, you think of Bella.
Yeah.
Like I mean, we just watched Hotel Transylvania based on
That's
Bella.
Adam Sandler doing Bela
Mhm.
Lugosi, yeah.
Like the influence that Bela Lugosi had on the horror genre as a
And
whole.
never really escaped it either. Like
No.
that's like one of the big plot points of Ed Wood from Tim Burton. Like the whole like, I turned down Frankenstein because I didn't think it was sexy enough.
Oh my gosh.
He is sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like I don't know if like that is factual. Like, hey, you turned it down because the role wasn't sexy enough, but that's what he says in the movie. And it's like, I guess I understand because the Frankenstein. But funny enough, then he does play the Frankenstein's monster. And which
And,
one?
Frankenstein meets the Wolfman.
Meets the Wolfman.
Hmm.
That's like the weirdest shit. Those old monster movies, they all played each other. That would be like Tom Holland playing Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. playing the Hulk. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like you're crossing streams here. Like that's not allowed.
But that just shows their diversity in acting. Like they can be these monsters, but still be the same monster, but still have different actors playing them. So,
but that wouldn't fly today. Like the Marvel stuff, like the Marvel, fans would riot.
Oh yeah. Oh, Tom Holland's not Spider-Man. You got freaking who's an up and coming person right now.
Well, it would have to be somebody in the MCU. Like that's
Timothy
the whole point. So it would be like Benedict Cumberbatch being Spider-Man. Be like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
And then acting like nothing changed.
Yeah, and acting like it's like in the continuity.
He's still going to high school as Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's the interesting thing about this stuff is they didn't take it seriously. Like they didn't even know that they were building a world. I think I really don't think they knew that they were building a cinematic universe. So they didn't put a lot of thought into it.
Think about it. It's more so like stage plays. So like when you have plays that pop up, it's the same characters, but never the same people playing them.
And they never knew that there was going to be stuff like this. When a movie hit the theater in the 30s and left, it was gone. It never came back. You couldn't pop in a VHS and go, I want to watch it again. It's gone.
Yeah.
So they thought like, all right, well, no one's going to notice, right? They didn't know that this shit was going to exist. So it's fascinating to like dive into like the whole myth around.
I never even thought of that. Like once in the theaters, it's out.
Yeah, once it's gone, it's gone.
And even more unfortunate fact, and one that like still like wrenches my soul, in like the same vein of like the burning of the Library of Alexandria, just about like 90% of all, like maybe even higher, like a 95% of all silent movies are gone.
Lost media.
Lost. Like in the, I want to say it was the Universal fire of like the 60s.
Yeah, there's a few Hitchcocks that are lost.
like just gone forever.
How sad, right?
That's
Yeah.
too bad.
But didn't you tell me recently they lost? What was the movie they lost?
Toy Story.
Aquaman.
Oh,
Aquaman 2 was lost apparently for a little bit, or
well, I think Aquaman 2, like
is still lost.
I literally saw. I didn't read further into it,
Did
but
you guys see this?
like Aquaman 2 is lost. Like we just don't know where it is.
Amber Heard
how?
took it.
Amber, she has it like a hostage. Like
It's still in the courthouse. It's over custody.
It's gone.
And she's in like Brazil now, apparently, or something.
Not Brazil.
it's like stuck to the bottom of Johnny Depp's like pants. He sat on it during the trial and he didn't know.
Like a piece of toilet paper to your shoe, but it's the movie.
You see, they already made a movie about it.
Oh yeah, the trial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what now?
Yeah. Well, is it a movie or a documentary?
I think it's
I feel like
a,
it's I
Or
feel like it's a
Lifetime
documentary.
movie.
it's got like actors playing them, so I thought it was
Really?
a movie. Hmm.
That's amazing. I wonder who they cast as Depp.
It was like maybe a few months after the trial ended.
That's funny. That's
Yeah, they
funny.
quit.
But
Dracula.
yeah, but
Love that guy.
just before we get off, like when I should have mentioned it when I was talking about Lon Chaney, but there like a lot of old horror is gone forever. Like London After Midnight. That's probably the most infamous example of like one of I guess Lon Chaney's like peak performances, and all that's left are just stills because of the fire.
That's
Like
crazy.
and we'll just never know what that
We'll
was.
never know what it is.
Damn, that sucks.
Yep.
But we are fortunate enough to have Dracula.
So that's your number 3?
My number 3.
My number 3 has been said already, so I won't linger on it too much, but it's
Goopy.
going to be The Visit. It is creepy and suspenseful. It is. I agree. This is what it's not my. So you said it like changed found footage.
To me,
To you, for me, there's a few moments in this movie where I'm like, because that's always my problem with found footage movies is
Is it
why am I
believable?
watching the footage that's found? And if it feels like they're making a movie, then it like I have a harder time getting it into it. Whereas if I watch something like the Blair Witch Project, that to me literally feels like what it should be. It's found footage. They died
Mhm.
and here's the footage they filmed. Whereas
Yeah.
something like this, there's a few moments that just detract me from it. Like I can't remember like what they are off the top of my head. I know they
I
involve
off
the
top of my
mom.
head. I know off the top of my head. It was when, off the top of my head, it was when they're in the kitchen and I think they're like Skyping or something.
With the mom, right?
With the mom.
It's the mom scenes that always take me out of this. Yeah. Oh, it's right there.
I can see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And for some reason, it just it's like, why are you filming that? You know what I mean? It's like, why are you filming that?
Like,
You
why
know?
are you filming yourself Skyping?
Yeah, it's like, why are you doing that? You know, like
Well,
I don't know.
The cool part is at the end, spoiler alert, where the mom goes, "Wait, that's not your grandma and grandpa." Like they could have left that in there, but not like the other Skyping calls or something like that would have been okay with me. Because yeah, it does take away a little bit from the film where it's like, okay, we're gonna Skype with mom now, and it's like, or they could have done that and have like the grandma or grandpa pass in the background, and she go, like be unsure if that's her mom or dad pretty
Yep.
much. So but like they could have played off of that. They just couldn't have just been like, okay, you're just gonna make a phone call pretty much. But the end part was fine with me, where it's like, oh, that's not your grandma and grandpa. That was fine.
And what's really cool about this, and I found out later, is these are the same kids that later starred in another really solid horror film called Better Watch Out. It's
Yeah. That's a good one.
It's like a holiday heist movie.
I want to see that movie unrated.
And it's the kids from The Visit. And I remember watching that movie going, why do those two look familiar? And then I found out, oh shit, they're from The Visit. They played brother and sister in The Visit.
That
So
had a
for
good
those-
twist too.
Oh, it's so good. Oh yeah, that
Mhm.
was really good. It's a
I
shame that one's not Universal. That would have ended up.
That's rated
Or-
R, right?
Is it Universal? Kevin, is that Universal?
feels like a
Better watch
blur.
out.
Better watch out.
Feels like a Blum.
It actually might be. So why didn't I? Because it's not on my list. If that's Universal, I'm kind of shocked I didn't put it on my list.
No, it's Wells Go USA Entertainment.
So it's not Universal.
It's
Yeah.
Wells Go a
Wells
USA.
Fargo.
Wells Fargo.
Well Go USA Entertainment.
But who distributed it?
That's the distributor.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, either way, The Visit is great. It brought back M. Night, like you said, Nadia. It made people go, oh, okay, he's not what we thought he was, where he was going with his career. So for all those reasons, and like I said, I do think it's the creepiest movie he's ever made. The under the house scene where they're fucking grandma's around being a creep. And then there's like a moment in the movie where they stumble upon the grandfather and he has the shotgun in his mouth and he just pulls away and he's like, can I help you? It's like, what are you doing? So the whole movie's unsettling. There's just a couple of those moments that take me out of it. Go, what? This isn't found footage. This is a movie. But other than that, solid. What were you saying, Kevin?
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, those are the creepy parts where you're like, why the hell is he doing that?
Yeah,
like it makes you really like. I don't know. I like movies that make you think it's like, why was he doing that? He's just carrying around a shotgun in his mouth, and then him be perfectly fine with it. You guys need anything? It's like, no, that was weird. Like, yeah, we need you to stop being creepy. How about that?
Oh, I'm the weird one. I'm the weird one.
I would have loved to have been on that set because that would be like all those old people acting creepy actors, like The Taking of Deborah Logan. I hate that movie, but I think it's like the old woman being creepy. I would love to just see Anne cut, and then like, what does she do? You know what I mean?
She goes back to knitting.
Yeah, like But did you guys have? I know this is like a criticism of the movie. Like some people hate the kid rapping all the time.
Yes.
Stupid.
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary how he wants to be a rapper.
Yeah, it really is.
See, that's the M. Night shit right there. You know, like you either like it or you don't like it. Kind of
once or twice it's fine, but like the whole movie, he's like trying to
I'll rap doing what I can, gonna eat everything. But that's my number 3, The Visit. Moving on to Nadia's number 2.
So my number 2 is obviously my favorite franchise. It's going to be Child's Play 2. I know that Universal, like Eddie said earlier, has made the rest of them except for the first one for some reason. So I only picked one per franchise. I didn't want to do all of them. So Child's Play 2, I did a ranking of the Chucky videos, Chucky franchise that's going to come out next week. But spoiler, this is my number 1. It's got a great setting. You have the school, you have the home, you have the factory. It's you get introduced to new characters who get eventually involved in the series. We follow Andy around from foster home to foster home. The kills are very good, top tier. And I know you haven't seen past the first one, but if you do, at least watch the second one. Because
we've seen the second one. We haven't seen past 2.
Okay. So yeah, the second one is really good. I know the third one is kind of to people, but I also enjoy it.
Fourth one, The Bride?
Fourth is Bride. Yeah. Bride is really good. But the number 2 has also a good soundtrack. It's got, again, great kills. It's just so entertaining from start to finish. So that's why that's high up on my list. And number 2, Child's Play 2, number 2.
And there will be obviously a Chucky house this year. We've talked to death about it here on the road to HHN, but I watched, there was a really cool roundtable of the creators of Halloween Horror Nights. And again, it was only in Orlando. For some reason, Hollywood gets shafted, but they were talking about each house and like the thought process and everything that went into it. And when the Chucky one came around, it was cool to hear like Mike Aiello, who trying to get on for episode 10. I would love to talk to this guy. But it was really cool. So
the maze looked really good.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to spoil myself and look at it, but when I do accidentally stumble upon it, it looks really good.
And his son, Caden Aiello, he loves it. Like that's one of his favorites that he's been through, and he goes like nightly because he's the son of.
Must be so nice.
You know what I mean? So
he has that free fear pass, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him and Mike, his father, on. So I think that'd be a cool 10th episode where we talk to them. So fingers crossed. hopefully it happens. But yeah, ultimate kill count. That's going to be a good one to go through. Because like the coolest part about it is they were talking about it like Chucky was the guy. So like they were talking about creating the maze, right? And then they were like, and then we showed it to Chucky, and he didn't like what we had come up with. So he was like, instead of faking killing people, let's actually kill people.
And then we said, yeah,
So that's like the whole premise of the maze is
we're killing people.
Chucky didn't like the approach Halloween Horror Nights was taking. And so he is now actually killing people.
Oh.
So
Okay.
you can go in.
Right?
Right.
Like I was watching the roundtable. I was like, that's actually really cool. Because they were talking about how the series is really meta. And so
You can go in the maze, but only once.
yeah, you can only go in once. So
Oh my gosh.
So wait, not that it's spoilery or anything, but are the Chuckies in the maze, are they animatronics or are they little people?
From
I
the
don't
little
know.
bit that I saw was animatronics so far. I didn't
wow.
obviously stay for the whole maze.
Wow. I know in the past, I feel like they've done actual people. I feel like
They
they've done
did actual people, but they weren't small. So that kind of took you away from
that
that.
took you out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I like I said, so this is the one that I didn't want to spoil, but I would have picked the first one. I love Child's Play. It's so good. But funny enough, we actually last night we watched M3 again. And
I saw that review.
I saw
that
it.
movie.
Yep.
I do not like Megan
I
at
was like,
all.
what? It's
That is just
good.
that is a blatant Child's Play wannabe. And
AI generated.
I told Haley the only reason that movie got made is because of James Wan. If he wasn't attached and that was just like me coming up with a movie and pitching it to Universal, they would have said, bro, get the hell out of here. That's the only reason it got made. There's nothing about that movie that's original at all. It's all Child's Play with a chick robot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like,
I mean, it's better than the remake, though. So I'd rather take Megan over the remake.
I don't know. Mark
Agreed.
Hamill, man. Mark Hamill. They couldn't even get her mouth to move with the actual voice. Like I was like,
that's a robot.
I understand, but like, come on. Like it's supposed to be super advanced. You can't even get the mouth to move right.
They can get the mouse to move right in some movies nowadays.
And if you look at her phone, there's a scene where she's talking to someone, and it's like we're in a really technologically advanced future where something like Megan can exist. She's still on 4G. and I rewound it. I was like, look at this. She's still on 4G. But like we're in a future where it's like this stuff doesn't exist right now, but like there's like a chick robot doing all these like dance moves and everything.
Yeah,
She's still on 4G.
She still
give
got that iPhone too.
I was like, what is happening right now? Anyways.
I will give it to the penny nickel dime girl. She is pretty good. Like in terms of like the way she moves.
And the ear scene was cool. Like him pulling the ear or her pulling the ear. That was pretty neat. But
there were cool elements, but overall
I just kept thinking of Child's Play. That's all I kept thinking of. I was like, I'd rather be watching Child's Play too.
Yeah, it
not
got
even
compared a
big.
lot to Child's Play, and I can see why.
People want
Yes, it
a
is.
face off, right? They want a Freddy versus Jason, but Megan and
Yeah,
Chucky,
Megan versus Chucky.
That would be funny.
right?
They just end up banging.
And then Tiffany comes in.
I know. I was like, where's
Yeah.
Tiffany in this?
Bitch, what? Oh, that'd
be
be like
funny.
a good novella.
That does. So that's your number 2. Kevin, your number 2?
My number 2 is another classic. Jaws is
Ooh.
coming in from the deep. Just a really good Spielberg movie. Oh, that's a cool shot. I've never seen that before. And just the way the animatronic is and how it looks so real, and the acting in this. Again, old movie acting is way better than new movie acting, I believe. And then just the cinematography of it, the way they shot the movie and stuff like that. I will always enjoy this movie.
Yep.
I know why this isn't on your list, but it's because you don't consider it a horror movie.
This is the one I always go back and forth on. Like sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like sweating and I'm like, Jaws is a horror movie. Jaws is a horror movie. And then
Dun, dun.
yeah. And then other nights I'll wake up and I'll go, it's not a horror movie. It's a drama. It's a drama.
It's a character study.
It's a
So
very dramatic
know.
shark.
It teeters. And for me, I justify it as I've ultimately decided, because I was going to put it on my list as well, Kevin. And I was like, it's more of a drama because there's more drama in this movie than there is actual horror. There's more moments of just talking, like the guys talking, and then there is an actual shark attack or anything like that. And
I have a proposal then for you.
Let me hear
This
it.
would be a creature feature.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a monster flick for sure, 100%.
I
So
feel like I would
when
group
someone
it.
says it is a horror film, I'm like I don't ever argue against it. I'm not like, like Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, that's fine.
I would group this closer to something like Godzilla or even like Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yep. Ooh.
Look at
Oh, that's
that
right,
little
from last
thing.
year. Yeah, that's right, from
Yeah.
last year.
I forgot I had that.
So would you consider JP a horror movie?
No, absolutely not.
No, get that out of here.
Absolutely not.
But
That one I would argue somebody. I'd go that there's no way that's a horror film.
Okay. Would you call it a thriller movie then?
I would call that an action, sci-fi, and if you have to put another one in there, thriller.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. She wanted to because we were looking at it. I feel like we were looking at the same list, the wiki for the movies. Did we all look at the wiki?
I didn't look at wiki.
I looked at fandom.com or something like that.
What about Mubi?
Yeah, there's called Mubi. It's funny.
Mubi.
But she was gonna put They Live on her list, and I said, They Live? They Live isn't a horror film. That's like a sci-fi thriller.
But it says horror, like it says horror
the
on
aliens
IMDb.
the aliens
and
are
on
creepy,
Wiki
and the premise is creepy. But
It's a very fine line.
it's another exactly. Yeah, I don't know. But this one is the one I'm like, if you want to call it a horror film, by all means, go right ahead. I think it has enough to it, but there's more talking. I feel like Jaws 2 is more horror than this.
I can see that, but I just remember my dad always saying Jaws would come on the TV. He goes, "Man, I remember going to that release date and seeing Jaws, and it scared the shit out of me."
Wow,
So
he was at the original Blockbuster. That's cool.
Yeah, well, and then he also went to Texas Chainsaw Massacre the first night as well.
That's so cool. Like talking to people that went to these movies we admire. You know,
Exorcist too, no?
Yeah, and The Exorcist he saw in theaters. So,
yep, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, hopefully, like down the road, I'll be like talking to my kids or whatever, and our kids, and I'll be like, and I'll be like, well, I don't want to be selfish. I'll be like, yeah, I saw Barbarian in the theater, and they'll go, whoa, you saw Barbarian in the theater? Theaters don't even exist anymore.
we have one in the house.
Yeah. So Jaws, number 2 for you. Yeah, it's a solid movie. I mean, it's maybe the most talked about movie of all time. So
you won't be able to go on the tram. Fuck, that sucks.
To see it,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, that's the daytime one, right?
Yeah, that's Brucey boy.
Bruce.
Number 2 for you. Let's try to power through these because it's coming up to an hour and a half, and we have a stream in an hour.
My number 2 might surprise you that I'm not putting it as my number 1.
Okay.
And that is The Black Phone.
The Black Phone.
Ooh,
The other half of Freaky.
Yes, in terms of mazes.
Yep.
I adore Ethan Hawke in this movie. I also adore like modern films set in decades ago. And this, like, I mean, I didn't live in the 70s, but I feel like this reeks of like polyester and ambrosia salad.
They captured it very well.
Yeah.
And like, it's scary. Like, he would abducting kids. Like,
touchy.
Yeah. And I just love the way that like you never see Ethan Hawke's full face, and his mask is like constantly changing, whether it's just the top half or just the bottom half or the whole thing, but never nothing.
And that mask is amazing, how he can change expressions with it and stuff like that.
It is.
Yeah, and probably the part I wasn't biggest on was like the actual like black phone itself.
Yeah, like the supernatural edge to the phone.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I like the idea of it, but I didn't like how they would impose like the kids' ghosts there. Like that was whatever. But
Mhm.
the idea of this kid needing to find some way to escape or he's dead meat. And then God, that scene where he creeps up the stairs and Ethan Hawke's just sitting there like
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
shirtless.
You don't know when he's gonna wake up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So scary.
Funny enough, like to me, the scariest moments of this film are when we're first being introduced to the grabber, and it's always like slow-mo, and it's the score is eerie as hell, but it's
Mhm.
always he's coming out, and it's like the moment we get a real good look at him in the slow-mo, the film fades, and then
Mhm.
it transitions to the next scene. We never see him abduct any of these kids until it comes to the main kid that we're stuck with the rest of the movie. And he does the whole like, dropping the groceries and everything, and it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like I hate kids in movies. Like I tend to hate kids more than I don't. But the little girl, his little sister.
Oh, she's solid.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
like
she was great.
when she was fighting with her dad,
Getting
like
beaten and everything. Like
Yeah.
I thought he was actually beating her.
yeah,
Like that's how realistic her reaction was to getting something like that from a
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
got
I
the-
seen her in another movie as well. She was good.
Yeah.
really good. I mean, just all the kids I think are like good, like not annoying. Like I was actually
Mhm.
rooting for the kids. That's crazy.
Mhm.
And like it's hard to think like because this is so new of a film that we would ever get any more sort of like horror icons. I guess like the Babadook, but that was like 2014. But like
He'll be an icon.
he's an icon.
He'll be
He's
an
an
icon. If he isn't already, Nadia, Kevin, do you think he's an icon now, or he will as time goes on?
I think if
I'd
they
s-
create more black phones in the franchise, because usually all the icons have a franchise, and that's
Okay.
how they're very well known. Usually
Mhm.
the standalone ones,
Fade.
they don't really get recognized as much.
The
Mhm.
Babadook. But the Babadook.
Kevin.
I would say it's actually more iconic than the Babadook because
agree.
of the mask people can wear. You can't wear Babadook to Halloween. You
But
can
you
wear
can
it.
be gay.
You can be gay.
I've never seen Babadook, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's
So,
like weird, like what is it, like homosexual undertones to him.
Maybe it's just the way that he looks.
Yeah,
I don't know how they coined him as the gay icon, but
And you never really get a good look at him either in the movie. He's always moving really quick. So
Mhm.
for that reason too, it's hard for him to be an icon.
well, you
get
see
like
him in
really,
the book.
yeah. You get really good looks at Ethan Hawke here as the grabber.
He's
yeah,
just
and he's
good.
just creepy as well. Like he would, I don't know, like his mask makes him even better too. So that's why I think he's more of an icon because people can pick up the mask and switch it, have a frowny face, a happy face, or show their cheekbones but still have the smile, or the opposite way. So that's what I think.
Yep.
So good.
It's good. It's good, especially for a modern film.
Mhm.
Very
Mhm.
good. Yep. I agree. My number 2 has been mentioned previously tonight. And oh wait, no, sorry. No, it has not. That's my number 1. Sorry, I lost track here. My number 2 is going to be, we've talked about it on a previous episode. It's going to be The Strangers. The Strangers.
Ooh.
This first Strangers right here is incredibly creepy. And I mean, talking about icons, this is another one because they are masks. I think of The Strangers as modern day horror icons, like particularly the bad guy, like because that's the most Sackman. Like that's the most creepy one, but they're all creepy in their own right. And I love the ending to this movie. It's no spoilers, but it's anything but a happy ending. So for all those reasons, it shot right up to number 2 on my list. And anytime you have a scratching record in your movie that just keeps repeating, ugh, it's just creepy, and he's creeping up the house with like the axe on the guy and everything. It's Merle Haggard, I think, is the record that's playing, and it just keeps skipping. God,
Stuff
it's so
like
good.
that's really, really eerie. Yeah.
Yep. So, and I mean, talking about it could actually happen. Apparently, it's inspired by true events. I think the director said that something like that happened where he got knocks at his door early in the morning hours, and it just unsettled him. Yeah, it just unsettled him. So
This one needs a critical reappraisal from me.
from you, oh, it's really good. And I'm not a big fan of Liv Tyler either. I don't really think she's a great actress, but this one, I think she, for some reason, she nailed it. And there's a cool behind the scenes making of where all she's doing is screaming, and I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her. So, thoughts on The Strangers before we move on to our number ones?
I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in years, but I remember loving it.
You're muted, Kevin.
Oh, I haven't watched it in like ages. So
okay.
So I would have to rewatch this one, but I remember it being very disturbing.
It is. I mean, it's incredibly simple. It's just a home invasion, and
it only happened because they were home.
Yep.
Well, and see, you don't have to be complex with AI Megan. This could easily be another movie that could come out with this concept of being very simple and straightforward.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. On to our final films here, our number ones from Universal. Kicking off with Nadia.
My number 1, I've talked about it lots of times on this channel and then on my channel. It's going to be Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Best horror movie of all time for me. These iconic masks are just iconic. The song, the story, the kills, everything just executes really well with this story or with this movie. And I really hope they don't do a remake of it or anything like that, because I really love the way this stands alone. And
what's your favorite of the 3 masks? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I really like the pumpkin. I know the pumpkin is always usually 99% sold out on trickortreatstudios.com. They just recently came out with like trick or treat buckets, and I was thinking of buying those instead of spending $100 each on a mask or whatever, how much they are. But this movie is just, I don't know. I want to get tattoos of their masks just because I love it so much. And yeah, I've already talked about this movie a lot of times, so that's my number 1.
Now, this is we've already promised you that by the time we meet up in person, we will have watched this. So this is high on our priority list for October. So yeah. Other than that, not much I can add to it because I haven't seen it, but I do know that it has sort of gotten that critical reappraisal where
cult
a lot of people like this. And I know that the convention coming up, the Halloween 45 out in California, they're actually getting a exclusive NECA figure, I think it's NECA, but it's the Dr. Tom Atkins. It's like one of those.
I haven't even heard of that.
It's not like one of the window ones that you have, Nadia, but it's like one of the ones that just has an open window. There's not a flap or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like realistic clothing and everything. So
that'd be awesome to meet Tom Atkins.
Right,
but he's very hard to meet. And if he's at a convention, the lines are just miles long.
Miles. How do you feel about this movie, Kevin?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Again, what Nadia said, don't remake this movie. It's perfect the way it is. And a lot of people don't think this should be a Halloween movie because it's Halloween 3. But it kind of fits perfect to give basically what's his name? Michael Myers a break. I think of this as his vacation movie, and then he came back in 4. And then, but what a good vacation movie it was.
He had to heal from that burn.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you binge this franchise, just go 1, 2, 4. Skip 3, go to 4. And after you're done, then go to 3, watch it as a separate movie, and you'll love it much more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Or Nadia, number 1. Kevin, you're number 1.
My number 1, going back to a classic over here. It is The Invisible Man.
Thank God I'm not the only one who put a Universal monster on their list. Good lord.
I had a couple Universal monsters, but I wanted to get one Universal monster on my list. I didn't want to have it all chewed up with Universal monsters. But my number 1 Universal monster, Invisible Man. Just the way
the original.
The original, yeah, not the remake. The remake is good, but the original is so much better, except for that screaming ass lady.
Thank you.
But other than that, this movie, though, for its time, making him invisible was fantastic. You can see right through him. It looks like he really is just wearing his clothes, and there's nothing else there, which is absolutely amazing. And then having him do the fights and everything, and everybody's scared of him, which is really cool because you would be scared of something that you can't see. So that's why I picked it. I picked up the Steelbook as well, so that's what I was getting, is when they're all in the thing.
Good old Alex Ross.
Yep, Alex Ross.
Yeah, he was like Invisible Man. What?
Yeah.
That's my favorite too. That's my favorite.
I thought that was a different cat. He looks a different color.
Nope, it's Fee.
It's Fee.
Oh,
It's Fee. Hey, buddy.
This is Fee.
So cute.
A part of the party.
Yeah, Invisible Man is solid. That screaming lady sucks.
But Claude Rains.
But Claude Rains is so creepy, but at the same time, like, I feel for him. Like, just leave him alone. Just leave him alone.
Really, this whole movie would have been avoided if
you
they
just left him alone.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
they don't. They just keep knocking on his door, and like, he doesn't want your services. Just he wants to be left alone. So, but yeah, like, my favorite effect is the bicycle. I love that bicycle, like how you can see the pedals moving and everything. And it is impressive, you know, because nowadays nothing's impressive anymore. But like, that was impressive. It's how did you do that? How did you pull that off?
Like you could have easily just made the bike move, but you moved the pedals.
Yeah, it's like they took an extra step and be like, let's make this believable, not just let's make this possible, pretty much.
In Spirit Halloween, I don't know if you've seen it at your store, but it has a really cool costume for the Invisible Man.
I think we have, yeah,
it's really neat looking. So, Invisible Man,
Oh,
number
man.
1, Kevin. All right, and your number 1.
My number 1 is from one of my Mount Rushmore favorite directors all time.
And we have talked about this as well. On these episodes.
We have, and that is Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak.
Another one that I went, wait, that's Universal?
Yeah, I also kind of did.
It just doesn't feel like I don't know. It doesn't feel like Universal.
It's the edgy side of Universal.
Yeah, like personally, to me, it feels more like Warner Brothers or something.
But you have Mia
Mia Wachowski.
Wachowski.
It's the third sibling of the Wachowskis.
And Tom Hiddleston. And I'm not the biggest ghost movie fan. Like, and I know that's only like a subtle element of this movie, like that adds like lore, but I mean, it's a period piece. Like, I love, like, what is this? Like, I'd say 1880, like 90s, maybe early 1900s. I can't remember. But something like around that time just adds to the creep factor. And the twist at the end, like the finding out why it's called Crimson Peak. Anybody seen? I know
I've
you
not
haven't.
seen this one. No.
I've seen it, but I don't remember the twist.
Yeah, me neither.
It goes from like macabre to just straight up fucked up.
What's it rated?
Like
PG-13.
I think it's R.
It's R.
It's R. Yeah, and the ghosts, like the apparitions, like even though they're sort of like elusive, like it's scary, and like you're in this big decrepit house, and Mia Wachowski, she's just a little girl. She's just just trying to live her best life. And this is her Uncut Gems, actually. And it's a gorgeous film. I love the story. I love Guillermo del Toro. Yet to disappoint me. Guillermo del Toro has yet to disappoint me. And Pinocchio is going in the Criterion Collection. I'm waiting for Crimson Peak's spot in the Criterion Collection.
Doesn't Crimson Peak has an arrow though?
It does.
Correct?
It
Okay.
does.
That's the one I have.
Yeah. So good. Man, I don't know if you would like it because you just don't like movies set around that time.
Yeah, it takes a
See,
lot.
I don't either, but that one's actually really good.
It's really good.
It's like gothic stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to Sleepy Hollow. So I don't know.
Love Sleepy.
I can't.
Never seen it.
I can't pinpoint what it is.
Well,
Like,
have you heard the tale of the Headless Horseman?
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, but it's I want to see it.
But it's Johnny. I'm just saying, like, that's the premise. But you have Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci.
Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman.
I just love, like, late 1800s gothic horror.
Yeah, it is creepy. So we'll check it out. So Crimson Peak coming in at number 1. My number 1 has been talked about. So, but for me, when I think of Universal, when I think of horror, there's only one title that comes into my head, and I was gonna go with the sequel because I'm very fond of the sequel. But you gotta do the original, Psycho. This is it's just pinnacle. It's pinnacle Universal horror. Still to this day, right? They have it like the house at Universal still.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's how iconic it is, and here it is right here. I mean, it's spawned a franchise, a remake, a show, a freaking. Does that have a video game? If it doesn't, someone should make a video game.
I don't think so.
Like an open world game, Norman Bates. That'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know. Just something about this movie is. I mean, it's not the scariest movie of all time. Like, it's really not. But there's like the cop I was talking about. There's all those, like, remember when the guy, take this off here. Remember when the guy, he's coming up the stairs and it's that really cool overhead shot where Mother comes out, or we think it's Mother, attacks the guy and he like falls backwards down the stairs. It's like a really weird effect technique that they use there. So he doesn't look like he's falling downstairs, but he like that's the impression. A lot of that in this movie when they turn spoilers at the end, when they turn the corpse around, she doesn't even actually like turn her around. All she does is like tap her and then it just moves. And it's like shit like that. And I don't know if that's on purpose, but it's eerie because in the human world, to turn someone around, you would do this, grab their shoulder and rotate the chair. But she just like touches her and it rotates. So shit like that. The shower scene, I mean, is just amazing. Iconic. Yeah. I still have not seen that documentary about that shower scene. I really want to. Has anyone seen it?
Nope.
No, but I do know that that's where the first movie where they showed a toilet.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I said it first.
Take it back.
Everything about that. I love how she's just laying there still, and I think she's holding from blinking. I don't know if they freezed the footage or froze. Sorry, whatever. Freeze dried the footage, but
frozen
dried. She's like holding from blinking, and it's very impressive to me. So everything about this movie is great. Anthony Perkins. I've heard it said before, but I'll say it here. He's very underrated as an actor. I know this year.
What else has he done?
This year, we're planning on watching Edge of Sanity, which is an Arrow as well. Kind of a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde take for him. So looking forward to that. But sort of like Bella, he was plagued with, this is all people really know him for, Norman Bates. But yeah, it's Psycho, man. It's Psycho, number 1. So there we go.
Well, I'll tell you guys when we go to Halloween Horror Nights, if you want to take a picture in front of the house, you definitely can.
Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So
What, they let you off the tram?
Oh yeah, they let you off the tram when we walk through Bates Motel.
Ooh, oh, you walk through it? I thought it was just a facade.
Oh, you walk through it.
You walked through it? I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I thought you just watched a guy playing Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates. Like
They
put a
have that to the side,
body.
and then you just keep going down the trail, and that's where Bates Motel is.
Wow. And that is the original? Like that is
No, it got well.
Is that the original or is it like
No.
remade?
It's remade.
Oh,
I know that.
damn. That sucks.
Like, I
He's
mean,
looking it up.
I swear to
Hold
God.
on.
Oh, I thought you were.
Someone look it up. Someone look it up.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
We need to know before we
I'm
close
doing
out
it.
here.
I'm doing it.
Leave him on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, right.
Tune
Was
in
it
next
real?
week.
There's a
Anyway,
cool
Mike.
shot though of the behind the house that is on the internet where you can see like the set, like it's literally just a facade, like the front of the house, and then like
Oh,
behind
yeah.
is all it's like not finished. It's really cool. Also, this Blu-ray has two versions of Psycho. It has Psycho Uncut and Psycho. So
What's
I've,
the difference?
I guess I've only ever seen Psycho. It says Psycho Uncut, the extended version of the movie, seen in theaters in 1960, exactly as intended by Alfred Hitchcock, now available for the first time ever.
So it's saying here that the Psycho House was one of the big draws towards Universal Team Tour back in 1964.
Okay. The original house, see, this is what I knew. The original house was just a facade.
Okay.
And then it was then, built. So, blah, blah, blah.
We still
And then-
we don't have an answer.
And the set still stands, but it was modified and relocated.
Oh, okay.
So twice over.
So
the
they
years.
picked it up and moved it somewhere else.
So the
Yeah, how'd
original
they do that?
So the original Bates Motel set no longer exists, but a reconstructed version of the motel has accompanied the home on the back lot and part of the studio tour.
Reconstructed.
Well, that's like everything, like the shark from Jaws that's hanging in the Academy Museum in California is it's not even screen used as far as I know. It's like one of the ones that was on the tram tour or something
Oh, okay.
back in the day, and they reconstructed it or yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm looking at images of the Bates house, and it's like you're looking at it from behind the hill, and it's just the two walls.
That's what I was just telling you.
I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. I was reading.
Oh, see, if it was the other way around, you'd scold me. Oh, you weren't listening. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I was like, oh, what'd you say? Exactly. You'd give me that face.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that is episode 9. How do you feel about it?
Episode 9.
All right, back to you in the studio.
I
Closing
thought you were gonna
thoughts?
do like The Rock. It's like, how do you feel about it? It doesn't matter how you feel.
Yeah,
Squidward. Good.
Good.
this was a lot of fun doing the pre-recorded episodes. Next time we do the Road to Halloween Horror Nights, it will be live. It's
Live.
alive.
This
Oh,
is the
yeah,
last
shout-
recorded one.
Shout out to Man-Made Monster.
Oh yeah, she wanted to do an honorable mention. Shout out to Man-Made Monster. Do you have any honorable mentions you feel like to just quickly toss out?
Man-Made Monster.
I don't know. I don't.
No, nothing.
No, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Fast
I'll
and the
say-
Furious.
He'll say Fast and Furious. I'll say Psycho 2. Psycho 2.
I
I'll
say
chase
Man-Made Monster.
Child's Play, Bride of Chucky.
Okay, actually,
I'll
I'll say
drive-
Zombie. Oh wait, no, that's not even Universal. I don't know anymore. All right,
It's all good.
moving
Fast
on.
and Furious is your pick.
Yep,
Serious movie.
Dom Toretto goes to hell.
it's family.
So yeah, we're excited. We'll be live. Like I said, fingers crossed we can get Mike Aiello, who is the senior director of creative development at Halloween Horror Nights. So that would be really cool. If not, we're just gonna do a Q&A, like a horror Q&A. Can I do my exit? We're gonna do a horror Q&A. So either way, we'll be live for episode 10, and then spoiler alert, our Halloween Horror Nights vlog that we're going to be filming out there when we go out to California is going to be our last video of the 31 days of spooky videos, because it only made sense to wrap up all of October with the culmination of the Road to Halloween Horror Nights. So
On Halloween.
on Halloween. So that's when that'll be releasing. You can expect that. And Nadia and Kevin, what would you like to say before we leave?
Can't wait.
I'm
No,
just
it's gonna be
Yep.
fun. So we're less than a month out, and can't wait.
All right, cool. Yeah, that sounded a little more enthused.
mhm.
Can't wait.
Just can't wait to get you guys out here to do
Ride
some
around in a
spooky stuff.
Tesla.
Pretty much, yeah.
Does it drive itself?
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't trust that.
I don't trust it though.
Oh, you don't trust it either? Okay. I was gonna say put it on when we're in the car, just as like, because I've never been in a self-driving car.
Well, it's kind of self-driving. It'll stay in between the lanes, so
We can try it in like an empty parking lot.
it won't go anywhere. There's nowhere to go.
It'll still drive.
Like on a freeway or something.
Yeah.
Or like just self-park. Does it self-park?
I have no idea.
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe.
I've seen it self park. They like adjust the wheel, moves by itself, and all that.
Oh,
Do I
that's
trust it?
Yeah.
No.
really neat.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, everybody, thank you for watching. Let us know your rankings of the top 5 Universal horror movies. So it doesn't have to be the classic monsters. It can be anything as long as Universal released it. And we'll be back with episode 10 very, very soon. Thank you for joining the 31 Days of Spooky Videos. And as always, she's going to run down the road. We're going to say, keep being fans of something.